Iowa State Representative Skylar Wheeler. Yes, we have a time in this world where there are Skylers that are adults and actually representatives of Congress and stuff.
Fuck.
So they are a anti-science legislator. Sorry. They co-sponsored a bill last year that would have required public school teachers who taught evolution, global warming, the origins of life, or human cloning to, quote, include opposing points of view or beliefs relating to the instruction, it says here.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Well, does this bill dictate how?
Well, the
they need to
interesting thing...
include it?
No, here's the interesting thing is, like, if it was a climate change thing, they wanted this teacher to teach climate denial as well.
Yeah,
So
that's not how science works.
And so the bill died in committee, and thankfully,
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
but Wheeler wasn't done arguing with people about it. The graduate of Pat Robertson's Regent University kept pushing his anti-science ideas on Facebook and deleting any criticism.
Of course.
Which, you know, to be honest, if people aren't being constructive and nice when they're talking to you, I'd delete comments too.
True.
So
Yeah. But I mean,
Well, we do. We don't just delete. I mean, we delete shitty comments, but we don't delete all negative comments.
No.
But then again, if it's like his Facebook page, then by all means go delete whatever you want. But
actually, no.
It doesn't.
No. We are private citizens. He is a legislator with constituents that he is accountable to.
Fair. Yes.
So
fair.
he has a latest attempt in trying to make Iowa as ignorant as people that believe in the Bible. House File 2031, which he co-sponsored, which this is an article written by him at Meta as well that he had written about it before. It would allow public schools to teach classes on the Hebrew scriptures and the New Testament in order for students to learn, among other things, of their influence on law, history, government, literature, art, music, customs, morals, values, and culture. It's a sneaky way of throwing the Bible into schools, really, is all it is. These would be elective courses that are supposed to be objective, so on paper, they're not illegal. But in so many states where the courses are taught, the objective classes are quickly turned subjective, and the teachers frequently peddle indoctrination and treat Christian mythology as actual history. So,
okay. I have taken art history classes, literature classes, the film even, and they talk heavily about the Bible and its influence on different perspectives. What some of the best art is actually the subversive counterculture to these things, and that's true. Yeah. Some of the best art is the subversive counterculture to the establishment. That's because art generally is really good when it truly challenges common thought. And so, no, I mean, but there are a lot of really great pieces of literature. There's some incredible artwork that is affirming Christian ideals. In my humanities class, diversity of dance, they talked about how ballet was specifically designed to venerate Christian ideals. And that does not make me love ballet less. I love ballet.
Yeah.
I think it's incredible. But understanding it, where it comes from in context is important. But there is no singular class. I don't care what anyone says. There's no singular class in which you can address these things objectively, because it has been such a overriding theme throughout history, and the ideas for and against it, both the venerations and the criticisms of it in art and literature and culture and all these things are so important that they're discussed in context of those ideas. Mm-hmm. That's how these things are taught. I've learned so much about the Bible just because I had to take a literature class.
So this bill, which would okay this class to happen here, it passed through the education subcommittee, of course, which Wheeler chairs for reasons that defy explanation here, as it says. So it'll go to the full committee for a vote before being presented to the entire House. So State Representative Mary Masher weighed in with some valid complaints. She said if the bill advances, she will offer many amendments for other required elective courses, including ones on the Quran, the Talmud, and other subjects with more diverse parts of society. And she questioned Wheeler whether he would support such a move. And Wheeler says,
of course he's not.
No, he didn't like this idea at all, because he said, the Bible is different than the Koran.
No, it's really not.
Not that much.
The idea of the
also-
bill is because of the specific impact the Bible has had on the history of our history, our founding, our culture, that the Koran has not had that impact.
No,
And- Oh, that's
no.
actually true. The Bible
Well-
has, in America, the Bible has had more impact than the Quran. But the things that have had way more impact on our culture, our laws, our morality, are things like, especially the concepts of democracy, the Native Americans, our culture, Black culture, our laws, English precedent, which was not largely influenced by the Bible, actually. Legally, culturally.
You
I
just
mean,
didn't actually. And expect you to push up on your glasses on that one.
Well,
Actually.
although Christianity has informed many puritanical parts of our culture, the actual laws and defining features of our culture have been influenced by multicultural backgrounds. Ha! History nerd!
It's just funny that he thinks that the Bible is different. And
That's just ridiculous.
I wish more people would
I
quit
do
thinking.
agree.
I mean,
the Bible has had more influence than the Quran
Yes,
here,
in the
but
United
has,
States,
and-
yes, I get that. But the thing is that
but not much.
ideally, the Bible
Yeah.
is not a different book than the Quran. I mean, and the Talmud is the Old Testament. You know, it's
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
or I'm sorry,
But-
that's the Torah. The Talmud
The
is the
Torah.
stuff that came, written after the Torah.
Right.
So
Right.
sorry.
But the thing is that the religious texts themselves have actually not been that hugely influential on our culture. Now, they have been the backbones of certain movements, but not
They-
entirely.
They've,
I mean,
they've
like I
had,
was saying,
they've had more of an impact on art, really.
but that's older than the United States, and most
Well,
United
yeah,
States
yeah.
Well, and you
art
can thank
is,
the Catholics for that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Catholics. But if we're talking about American culture, most Americana culture is actually about the melting pot. I mean, you talk about the blend of Irish and Black music because of indentured servitude and the Black slaves, and before white people were venerated above Black people, there was they combined cultures because they had a shared interest in combining cultures, and so a lot of your bluegrass has both African and Irish roots.
yeah, I mean, just
Yeah.
look at the
Neither of those are religious in nature. Like,
go and find
no
the
American culture.
find the history of the banjo, and be completely surprised by the background of that instrument.
Oh yeah.
So
It's amazing.
I'm not going to ruin it for you, but you guys should go look that up if you're an interested person in what musical instruments and where they come from and stuff. It's kind of like a shamisen from Japan, but it's not quite. So you'll be interested to hear where it comes
It's
from. So
fascinating. And that's the thing is that so many people who are nationalistic about America, their entire culture is derived from other cultures and
Yeah.
not just European.
as
I
we
mean-
had talked on the secret, I mean the patron stuff that we were talking about, the alt-right fight club, where they're talking about we're an MMA group. It's like your mixed martial arts come from people of color.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, look at the influence of
karate,
Black culture.
taekwondo, kung fu, even Krav Maga comes from Jews, guys. It's like you have oh my god, you also have,
Heavy metal would not exist without Black people, because rock and roll, heavy metal is a derivative of rock and roll. Rock and roll is specifically derivative of African rhythms, and tonality.
Mhm.
Like, it's just we can link back so much of what American culture is to non-religious things that's why it's so fucking stupid to talk about the Bible as if it's a major cultural
Yeah.
underpinning to American culture when it's not. In fact, much of America's culture is counterculture to the domineering religions in certain areas.
Mhm.
That's been the American thing because Americans really like to say "fuck you."
yep.
Yeah. The only time study of at this point the only time that the study of the Bible should really come into play is when you are getting pretty deep into the reads.
I would
in
think
in
comparative
any kind of art
literature.
history or literature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's into literature. But if you look into to the modern era literature, so that would be like the 1900s to the 1960s, and the 1960s forward, the Bible isn't. It's either a criticism of the Bible, or it's or it's cherry picking, and it's supposed to be conflicting in that way because that's the way we've done it. It's just.
I don't know, guys. I had an English professor that read a little bit way too deep into Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath, and he made it very religious.
Yeah, there's a danger. There's a danger.
Yeah.
The problem with literature is
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just like all art. It depends on who's observing it. Yeah.
That's the thing about art.
Exactly. So yeah, fuck this guy for thinking that the Bible is somewhat special and trying to sneak it into the classroom.
No, it's not that special. Although it would be neat if they actually did pass this law and every science teacher was like, and then there's also this other theory which is complete bullshit.
Hey, how about this one theory where if you mix a cow that has stripes on it and with one that has this other thing and you get the cow stripes come from like if they had a shadow on them when they were conceiving and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the fucking passage is because it's a shitty book.
Bats are birds.
Bats are birds.
Yeah.
And rabbits chew their cud, you know.
No. They do chew on grass a lot, though.
Yeah. Well, you have to.
You're a rabbit.
Have you ever
fuck like rabbits?
You ever eaten grass? You got to chew that shit for a long time.
You got to eat a lot of it, too.